Okay, so you did it. You landed an interview for your dream job. It's such an amazing feeling, right? But let's be real, that excitement often comes with a huge side of nerves. Well, today, we are going to tackle that anxiety head on and turn it into unshakable confidence.
I bet you know this feeling all too well. You've practiced, you know your experience inside and out, but then they ask that first question. So tell me about yourself. And poof, your mind just goes completely blank. It's like all that preparation just flies out the window. I've seen it happen to the best people. And trust me, it is so frustrating. That's why we're going to go through the exact steps I share with my one-on-one clients to help them stay calm and collected. Because really, the whole point is to let the interviewer see the real you, the confident, amazing person behind the resume, not just the nervous version. But wait a second, before we even talk about interview day, we have to talk about getting the interview in the first place. And that first hurdle, it's a big one. Because a lot of the time, your first challenge isn't impressing a person, it's getting past a machine. And here's a stat that might actually shock you. A whopping 75%, 3 out of every 4 resumes are rejected by these applicant tracking system bots before a real human being ever lays eyes on them. And you want to know why? It's usually not because you're not qualified. It's because of simple things, like formatting mistakes or just not having the exact keywords the robot is looking for. So the big question is, how do you get around this? How do you make sure your resume actually lands in front of a hiring manager? Well, you need a resume that's built from the ground up to beat these bots. And this is where I have to tell you about today's sponsor, MobileCV.ai. Honestly, if you're tired of sending resumes into a black hole, this is your game changer. It's not just another resume builder with fancy templates. It actually uses something called LaTeX formatting, which is just a fancy way of saying it creates a perfectly clean document that those ATS bots can read without any errors. It's AI-powered, so it can build you an optimized resume in like 60 seconds. Plus, it'll even help you write a cover letter. You get 3 free credits to start so you can see for yourself. This is the tool that actually gets your foot in the door. Okay, so MobileCV.ai did its job. You beat the bots, and you've got the interview scheduled. Awesome! Now let's get back to crushing those nerves so you can absolutely nail it. I've got a 4-step game plan for you that is super simple and totally actionable. Here's what we're going to cover. First, researching thoroughly. Second, practicing with purpose. Third is visualizing success. And finally, number 4 is all about breathing and centering yourself. Ready? Let's dive into step 1. All right, step 1, research. Look, so much of interview anxiety comes from the unknown, right? The best way to fight that feeling is with information. The more you know about the company and the role, the less you'll have to be nervous about. Think of it this way: preparation is power. And I don't just mean a quick glance at their homepage. You need to do some real digging. Sure, check out their website and social media for the official company line. But then you gotta go deeper. Look at their recent press releases. Check out Glassdoor and LinkedIn to see what current and former employees are really saying. When you understand their culture and values, you can tailor your answers perfectly. And even better, you can ask really smart questions that make you stand out. Okay, moving on to step 2, practice with purpose. And I'm not talking about just reading your resume to yourself a few times. No, we need to be strategic. You need a framework that helps you tell your story in a clear and compelling way. And that framework, my friends, is the STAR method. This thing is a lifesaver. It stands for situation or task, action, and result. It's a super simple way to structure your answers so you're not just rambling, but telling a powerful little story about what you've accomplished. Let me show you what I mean. A vague answer is something like, yeah, I improved team efficiency. Okay, nice, I guess. But look at the STAR method answer. You set the scene. The workflow was slow. You explain your action, implementing a new tool, and then you hit them with the result. A 20% increase in project completion. See the difference? One is forgettable, the other is memorable and powerful. Now, here's a really important tip. Practice these STAR stories out loud. Say them to yourself in the mirror, record them on your phone, whatever works for you. The key is to know your main points, but please do not memorize a word-for-word script. You'll sound like a robot, and if they throw you a curveball question, the whole thing can just crumble. All right, for step 3, we're shifting gears from what you do to what you think. We're talking about visualization. Now, I know this might sound a little woo-woo to some of you, but hear me out. Top athletes, CEOs, performers, they all do this. Why? Because it flat out works. It's like a dress rehearsal for your brain. And it's really easy to do. Sometime before the interview, just find a quiet place to sit for a few minutes. Close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths, and just start to picture the interview. Imagine the room or the video call screen. See yourself smiling, feeling confident, and answering questions with ease. Play out a smooth, easygoing conversation in your head. What you're doing is getting your brain comfortable with the situation before you're even in it.
And that brings us to our final step, number 4. This is maybe the easiest, but also one of the most powerful things you can do, especially in the moments right before the interview starts. It's all about your breath. Think about it. When you get nervous, your breathing gets all short and shallow, right? That just tells your brain to panic even more. By taking just a few slow, deep breaths, you're literally sending a message to your body that says, hey, we're okay. We can relax. It helps you sit up straight, clears out the mental clutter, and brings your focus right back to the here and now. It's like an anchor in that sea of anxiety.
So that's the plan. 4 steps to take you from nervous to confident. Let's do a quick recap to make sure these key ideas really stick with you. Just remember this. First, preparation is your power source. Second, purposeful practice is what builds real, natural confidence. Third, your mindset truly does shape your reality. And fourth, your breath is always there as your anchor. You've always got it with you.
So, with these tools in your back pocket, there's absolutely no reason to let nerves get the best of you. You know how to prepare, you know how to practice, and you know how to calm your mind. You are ready to show them just how amazing you are. Now, go get that job.